These are the most important new sneaker releases that you need to know about. First off, let's talk about the biggest release of the week. So after months of anticipation, the Air Jordan 4 White Cement has finally released. And the good news is, for a lot of people, there was a lot of pairs. Now, you might have missed out, but also good news, they're not going for that much money over retail right now. In fact, if you want to grab this pair or any of the other pairs that I talk about in today's video, I've made sure to link them through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. So if you're one of those people who missed out on a pair and wants to grab a pair for resale, personally, I think it's best to wait a couple weeks just to make sure that everyone gets their pairs in hand so that the price starts to go down a little bit. That's generally what happens with sneaker releases. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. For this pair, because there are so many pairs of these shoes and because it is such a popular release, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So my thought is wait a couple weeks, pick up a pair then, but don't wait much longer than that because eventually the prices will go up because it's one of the most classic Air Jordan 4s of all time. Oh, also, speaking of this pair, if you want a pair of socks to match this shoe perfectly, Apothecary, my sock brand, just released our brand new sneaker collection, which is specifically designed to match your sneakers perfectly. So we actually have a pair of socks that match this shoe down to the color perfectly. So if you guys want to grab that for yourself, I'll link it either on the YouTube shopping tab or through the description down below. I'm not sure exactly where you want to find it, but it'll be all over the screen. But on a personal note, this shoe is awesome. I've actually doubled up. I love it. I think it's one of the best shoes to release all year. And now let's dive into some upcoming sneaker news. And starting things off, we've got the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know this shoe was dropping. Did you guys know? I had no idea. Well, either way, the Air Jordan 11 Rare Air is dropping this October for most likely a standard retail price of the Air Jordan 11. This edition of the shoe expands on the Rare Air series that we've previously seen on models like the Air Jordan 1, the Air Jordan 3, and the upcoming Air Jordan 4. This pair of Air Jordan 11s features a striking mix of deep royal blue, fire red, sail, black, and muslin. The upper is crafted from what seems to be regular Jordan brand leather, although it kind of looks like it could be higher quality, but who knows. That's complemented by the royal blue patent leather mudguard, and additional details include the Jordan text along the eyelets and a vibrant red Jumpman logo on the collar. The sock liner of the shoe comes in black to sort of pop on the upper of the shoe. You've also got a sail midsole and a translucent muslin colored rubber outsole, which just kind of looks like an aged or oxidized outsole. I'm not totally in love with it. Now, I'll be honest with you, this release, in my opinion, is nothing special. It's not a bad looking pair of shoes. I think if you want a pair of Air Jordan 11s, sure, grab this pair. It probably won't be that hard to grab. And I like the Rare Air concept, the idea that these shoes are inspired by mistakes or samples or something like that. So it's probably got some detail that's off or different on this pair from other pairs of Air Jordan 11s. Maybe it's the oxidized midsole. I don't know. But either way, like the other Rare Air sneakers that have released this year, I don't think it's going to be an instant hit. It was a good try from Jordan brand. They dropped some actually pretty decent sneakers, but the hype wasn't there. And I feel like this pair of Air Jordan 11s that's dropping in October, probably not going to change that. Next up, we've got a pair of lows that I am incredibly excited for, and that's the Air Jordan 1 Low Chicago. Finally, this shoe is making a comeback this November. I think the last time it released was back in 2014, I think it was 2015, or was it 2016? I think they released in 2016, actually. It was one of those shoes that was sitting at the outlet and no one wanted it, and now it's like one of the most hyped up pairs of lows ever. Now, obviously, if you're not aware, the Chicago colorway was released back in 1985 as a high top and is one of the OG and also one of the most iconic Air Jordan 1 colorways of all time. This 2025 release of the Chicago 1 Lows is trying to recapture some of that Jordan 1 hype, which I don't know if it's possible, but we'll see if they can do it. Now, this shoe is crafted from a leather upper. It boasts a varsity red, black, and summit white color palette, as we're used to seeing on Chicago shoes. And of course, varsity red is the main color that dominates the shoe, and I think that's sort of the pop of color that everyone's looking for with Chicago 1s. Now, one thing I really like about this release that I think I'm seeing on images of this shoe, I don't know if they're real or if they're not or if they're just renderings or whatever the case may be, but it looks like Jordan brand is opting for the larger Nike swoosh, which I think is a nice touch. It really fills out the side of the shoe in a nice way that the smaller Nike swoosh just doesn't really do. But hey, either way, this shoe is slated to drop on November 15th, and I will definitely be grabbing a pair. Coming back this fall is a huge Air Jordan 5 Grail, specifically the Tokyo 23s. Now, I actually have a pair of the original release that dropped back at the Tokyo Jordan store in 2011 when it opened. It's not the current Jordan store, but it's like the last one that apparently they moved from. And I don't know if you guys know the story about how I got this pair. You might have seen the vlog from I think 2019, but I actually won this pair for free at ComplexCon, totally by chance. I won a raffle and I got them. I did a whole video with Hess Kicks because he was there, he was wearing his pair. We did a whole review, it was sick. Check out those videos on my channel if you'd like to, because I think it's a really cool vlog and story and all sort of good stuff. But either way, this shoe is coming back and I will finally be able to have a pair that I can wear. I've worn this once, but I'm genuinely afraid to wear it now because I think it might crumble. crumble. Should I just try it? Nah, I'm not gonna try it. Now, as we've seen over the last couple years, Jordan Brand is just reaching into that archive and pulling out the grails and re-releasing them, which is making some people mad and some people happy. I think it's a good thing, even with a pair that I own precipitously dropping in value, most likely. I don't know for sure yet, but I think it's a good thing because there's a lot of pairs out there that people have always wanted and have never been able to get, especially with pairs that could crumble in the future. I think it's nice that they're bringing them back out so that people can actually wear them again. Now, I have no idea if the shoe is going to be exactly the same as the original or if they're changing things. I have no clue, but either way, it's definitely a pair that I'm excited about grabbing a second pair of. To go over some of the details that make up this shoe, you've got this striking yellow nubuck upper inspired by Japan's vibrant cityscape and symbolic association with brightness and energy. Moving back on the shoe, at least on the lateral side, you've got this stylized 23, which is kind of written in the style of Japanese kanji and definitely sort of ties in to that Tokyo connection. Of course, like a lot of other Air Jordan 5s, you've got a reflective tongue and you've got black hits on the laces and on the midsole. It's a very, very striking pair of Air Jordan 5s and I love it. I wish I could wear it more, but I'm really afraid because it's a $3,000 pair of shoes and the midsole might completely crumble on me. I did get it for almost free. I had to pay taxes on it, which was like $500, but either way, I'm not sure if I'm willing to risk $500 for a shoe that might crumble. But the good news is for me and anyone who's wanted a pair of the Tokyo 5s, these shoes will apparently return on September 27th for most likely a standard Air Jordan 5 retail price of maybe $210, possibly $225, maybe $250 because it's a limited release. I don't know exactly what the deal is going to be, but either way, they're coming back, so be excited or not. If you don't like them, it's up to you. Looking ahead to 2026, we've actually got some news about an upcoming Nike Kobe 5 Protro, specifically the lower Marian Aces, which is set to release in the spring. Now, this Protro edition pays homage to Kobe Bryant's high school team, the lower Marian Aces, which is actually not super close, but close enough to where I live in Philadelphia. The shoe comes in primarily a metallic silver and I guess team red or sort of a maroony color. We've also got some white accents. Obviously, the design of the shoe reflects the team's colors and Kobe's early basketball journey. Apparently, the price is going to be $190. I don't know if that's set in stone, but that's kind of your standard Kobe Protro price, so I wouldn't be surprised. And I think it's a meaningful addition to most Kobe fans' collections. Like, it's a cool callback to his high school, and it's a cool looking pair of sneakers. I really like the colorway a lot. Of course, being a Protro, it does feature some upgraded tech to make it a better on-court performance shoe, and if that's something you plan to do in this sneaker, play ball, then it's gonna be a great pickup. Actually, it's funny, Kobe's are the most worn pair of sneakers by NBA players to play basketball in right now. I think the Kobe 6 specifically. I mean, I get it, they look great and they perform great, and as good as these other new performance basketball sneakers are, there's something about rocking Kobe's on court that just makes you feel like you can ball. I know for a fact that they make me feel like I can ball, but I definitely can't. So it just gives you that feeling, and I get it. Next up, let's talk about the return of another classic, and that is specifically the Shattered Backboards. Originally released back in 2015, the Shattered Backboard colorway pays homage to a memorable moment in Michael Jordan's early career. During a 1985 exhibition game in, I believe, Trieste, Italy? Is that how you say it? Trieste? Is it pronounced Trieste? Trust? I don't know. It's in Italy. But either way, Jordan delivered a powerful dunk that shattered the glass backboard. Now, while he was doing this, he was wearing an orange, black, and white uniform, which inspired the sneaker's distinctive, at this point, color scheme. In fact, I think almost every orange, black, and white colorway that's released since the Shatter Backboards has been some iteration of the Shatter Backboards, whether it's on 1s or on 5s or whatever the case may be. Now, this 2025 release marks the 10th anniversary of the iconic pair of sneakers that many consider to be the highest quality Air Jordan 1 ever. And surprisingly, confirmed by Roseanneville, it's up there. Now, this shoe was originally slated for July 12th, but it looks like the release has been pushed back to August 23rd, which is fine for me because I've been spending so much money on sneakers, I wouldn't mind taking a break for a second. It's been crazy. This year is insane. Rumors suggest that this edition stays true to the original design, which is what everyone wants, and of course it features that premium tumbled leather in starfish orange, black and sail hues, and it also has that shattered backboard graphic on the insole, which is a really cool touch that not a lot of people know about. I personally cannot wait to grab this sneaker. The pair that I bought, I think from GOAT back in 2015, like right when GOAT started, or did I buy it from StockX? I think I bought it from StockX actually. Again, you can check it out through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Either way, I bought the Chicago's from GOAT and these from StockX, both like right when those apps started, and I think I got it for like $350 because at that time that's what they were going for. And I think when I bought it, I got an email from StockX saying your pair had like this defect in the outsole, which it was just like a little bit of rubber missing. It wasn't a huge deal, and they're like, we'll give you a $25 discount. And I was like, yes, let's do it. I had to grab a size 8.5 because it was like $50 cheaper than the size 9. I was working full time at that point. I didn't have money to blow on sneakers. I still don't really, but at least now it's my job, so I can justify it more. So I got it, but it's a size 8.5 and not a size 9. So I've never really felt super comfortable in them because they're just a tad too small. So when this new one comes out, I will definitely be grabbing a size 9. I'm also really excited to compare the two pairs and see if the quality is the same. But hey, either way, coming out in August, so stay tuned. Next up, we've got some news from the Biebs. It looks like Justin Bieber is making waves in the fashion world with his latest venture, Skylark. Now, as some of you know, this brand marks a significant departure from his previous label, Drew House. While Drew House tried to embody sort of a laid-back streetwear vibe, Skylark ventures into more more of a avant-garde territory, showcasing futuristic designs and bold aesthetics. Now, over the last few weeks to few months, Justin Bieber has been teasing us with little hits of Skylark on his Instagram, and there's a lot of really cool shoes coming out of this, I guess it's not a collaboration, out of this new brand. Is it crazy to say that it might be the new YEEZY? Is that crazy? Should I do a whole video on that? I don't know. But either way, he's got a lot of really cool silhouettes coming. You've got this really interesting sort of foam slide thing that's combined with almost like a fabric upper. I don't really know how to describe it. Here's a picture of it. Pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. It definitely is like a different take on what I think Kanye West would do with the same prompt. Again, these two brands are not the same thing, but it definitely has a sort of chunky aesthetic, that sort of chunky future minimal aesthetic, which I think was sort of a defining feature of YEEZY. In addition to that, they've also got a more traditional looking sneaker, which is not super different than anything else out there, but I do think it's nice to have a more standard option, although it's still not super standard, but it's definitely more standard than some of the other pairs that he's releasing. From what I can tell, there's a couple different versions of the sneaker that feature the same overlay shapes, but in different materials, which really do change up the look of the shoe. Now, I'm not sure if this is all samples or if one of them or a couple of them are actually releasing, who knows, but either way, I'm excited. And then finally, it looks like Justin Bieber is collaborating with Zellerfeld to create a 3D printed pair. Now, I'm a big fan of Zellerfeld. You guys know I've worked with them and will be working with them on something we'll talk about later on in the video, but either way, they've pioneered 3D printed footwear. They're doing it big. They've collaborated with a lot of huge names like Nike on the Air Max 1000s, one of my favorite pairs from last year. They just collaborated with Jeff Staple, and now they're collaborating with Justin Bieber. They actually also did something with YEEZY back in the day. I think it was like the Paris Fashion Show boots or something like that, but they never released. Either way, Zellerfeld has worked with a bunch of huge names, and the pair that Justin Bieber is teasing looks sick. Another tidbit of information which I didn't know is that apparently Hailey Bieber is also involved in the brand's development in some way. She's contributing to the design process and of course promoting the line on social media. Now, unfortunately, there is no official launch date for Skylark, even though I am heavily invested in grabbing all of the pairs. I'm so excited for it because I think the brand is going to be something big. Unfortunately, like I said, there's no release date or pricing or anything like that. But either way, Skylark I think is going to have a big splash. The hype right now is undeniable, and I cannot wait to see what the Biebs drops. Actually, speaking of Zellerfeld, the next story is about another brand that's collaborating with Zellerfeld, Apothecary. Now, while there is definitely no concrete information on the release date yet, I actually was able to get a couple sample pairs to review for you guys in the next couple weeks. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the brand Apothecary. It is primarily a sock brand based out of Philadelphia. I met one of the co-founders. He's awesome. Really just like one of the coolest, chillest guys out there. Makes great content online. Definitely check him out if you haven't yet. His name's Seth Fowler. Sick guy. Awesome dude. But either way, the Apothecary Mule is coming soon. There is no official release date yet, but it comes in 4 different colors. You've got blue, you've got black, you've got this sort of cream off-white color, which I've actually been rocking a huge amount, probably 3 months at this point. It's amazingly comfortable underfoot. And an orange pair, which I actually don't have. The founder of Apothecary and Zellerfeld was not able to send me a pair of those just yet. I'll have to try and see if I have any more connections over at Apothecary to see if I can get a pair eventually, but hey, there you go. So the Apothecary Mule, like everything else that Zellerfeld does, is a fully 3D printed pair of shoes. Every part that has a sort of checkerboard pattern feels like a foam, which is really wild. Like it genuinely feels like a foam. It's crazy. And then the rest of the upper of the shoe also feels pretty soft, very flexible, whereas the midsole of the shoe feels a bit stiffer. Like it's got, I don't know if it's like a thicker infill or what it is, but it definitely feels like a more standard EVA midsole. But what's nice about this shoe is that this area with the checkerboard is so soft that the entire cushion area of this shoe just cushions your foot. I realize I'm being redundant there, but it does feel amazing underfoot. And I'm not being biased, like genuinely. I didn't make the material, so I'm just telling you it's mad comfy. But hey, either way, huge thank you to Apothecary for sending these out. Make sure to stay tuned for a review coming in the next couple weeks. And don't forget to try and grab a pair when they release, probably sometime in June, possibly July. We'll have to wait and see. And also price point wise, I've heard rumors that maybe around 150 bucks. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about this release and I will definitely be picking up another pair for myself. Finally, we've got some more information on one of the most anticipated sneaker releases of the entire year, and that's the Off-White Air Jordan 1 Alaska, aka the Euros. So the Off-White Air Jordan 1 OG Alaska is technically a reimagined version of the very highly sought after Air Jordan 1 Off-White White, exclusively released in Europe back in 2018. Now, I'll be honest with you, initially I thought that this shoe was called Alaska because it's, you know, inspired by snow, I guess, and I just was hoping that they'd go with the Euro name instead of Alaska, but there is more to the story, so stay tuned, I'll fill you in on that. From what I can tell, this new version is unchanged from the original. It maintains the same all-white aesthetic of the predecessor while being available globally, which is huge because I've wanted a pair of these forever. I had a pair in size 12, but that doesn't fit me. I have all the other off-white ones. I have the Chicagos, I have the UNCs. I actually have the Chicago signed by Virgil, if you guys didn't know that. Check out like any of my videos. I mention it in literally every video that I do. I am actually looking for another pair of those to rock casually, so if you have one for a good price, let me know. It'd help out the $20 sneaker collection. All that aside, I'm really trying to fill out and finish my Off-White Air Jordan collection, so this pair is a big pickup for me, or a big, I'm gonna spend money on it probably. The good news is, if you're looking to grab a pair of these, they are slated to drop on December 20th, which I know is a while from now, but it is this year, so we've waited 10 years already. Not 10 10 years, 8 years. We've waited a while since the last release. 8 years? 7 years. We've waited 7 years since the last release of the shoe. And again, it looks unchanged from the original with the same deconstructed look, the same exposed foam details, the same colors, the same blue zip tie, but until we have official images of this shoe, we don't know for sure. Now, getting back to the name Alaska, it not only reflects the sneaker's, I guess, frosty white colorway, but also pays tribute to Virgil Abloh's creative studio, Alaska. Seriously, one of my most anticipated sneaker releases of the entire year, second only to maybe like the Breads. They dropped in February, my favorite shoe of all time. Pricing wise, unfortunately, we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was $190 or even $250. Who knows what the price is gonna be, but resale will probably be stupid. Maybe not as stupid as it was on the original release, but definitely stupid-ish. Actually, if I had to guess, I'd say 5 to 7. 5 to 7 is my guess. Maybe they'll go for thousands depending on how limited they are, but we'll have to wait and see. But hey, if you made it to this point in the video, let me know which one of these shoes you are looking forward to most in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you all in the next one.